Hello everyone, and welcome back to Secrets Behind the Stars. How are you feeling today? I hope you've got your favorite drink in a comfy spot, because what we're unpacking right now is the kind of story that makes you pause mid-scroll and whisper, "No way." Our headline is a showstopper. Cemre doesn't lie, she reveals, too. And yes, that too matters, because what surfaced this week hit the fandom like a summer storm. We're digging into Seamra Arda's big reveal, the one that has social media spinning and every follower of this magnetic duo buzzing in group chats. The message between the lines is crystal clear: she can't bear seeing him with someone else. What happened? What did she confide? And who is the woman standing at the center of all this? Settle in, because we're about to explore every murmur, every rumor, and the threads that connect what's whispered in shadows to what finally reached the light. Before we dive deep, a quick reminder: if you haven't already, subscribe to Secrets Behind the Stars and tap the bell so you don't miss a single chapter of these unfolding lives. To the loyal ones who never miss a video, thank you for being our heartbeat. Your support keeps us curious, bold, and always ready to bring you the stories that move millions. Now, to the heart of the matter. The spark that set all of this ablaze belongs to none other than Cemre Arda and Gökberk. Two names that carry weight. Two careers that rose fast and glowed brighter, side by side and then apart, forever linked by a chemistry that leapt from the screen into headlines. You know the story: their on-screen connection grew into something more, and even after everything changed between them, the shadow of that past never really left. For years, their followers have held on to the idea that maybe, just maybe, their story wasn't finished. And sometimes, that shadow stays quiet. But not this week. It all started when new photos began to circulate. Those careful, almost tender images that suggest closeness without spelling it out. Shots of Gökberk sharing space with a new face. A woman whose name no one confirmed, a presence whose timing was perfect or disastrous depending on whom you ask. People began to connect dots, real or imagined. Was it casual? Was it serious? Was it staged? And then came the twist. The reaction attributed to Cemre Arda felt like a door creaking open to a room she promised herself she wouldn't revisit. According to people near her, friends who know the longer version of every chapter, Cemre didn't bottle this one up. She let it out in private, yes, but those words have a way of finding their way into the current. Sources, the ones who rarely speak unless the ground is steady beneath them, described a woman caught off guard by her own feelings. A woman who said more than she planned to say. The leaked sentiments are simple and devastating. She's uncomfortable, more than she expected. She's angry, not with anyone in particular, but with the reality of what she saw, and most telling of all, she can't stand witnessing Gökberk with someone else. There it is. Not shouted, not posted, not monetized, just admitted to a circle that knows what the rest of the world only guesses. What does that mean? Is it jealousy, pure and simple? Is it nostalgia, the kind that softens sharp edges and turns old arguments into scenes lit by warm lamps? Or is it a response to the way it happened, public, glossy, relentless? The mystery woman in the photos has become a Rorschach test for everyone peering in from the outside. Some say she's a placeholder, a brief chapter. Others are convinced she's the beginning of something solid for Gökberk, something he could build on. That's the hinge on which this story swings. If it's fleeting, maybe it passes easily. If it's real, it's harder to watch. Through it all, the element that refuses to fade is the history. You can't rewrite what the two of them shared. The long days on set. The rush of attention when scenes went viral. The magic of timing when projects aligned and the spotlight refused to blink. People loved them as a pair. And after their split, quiet in some ways, loud in others, hopes for a reunion lingered like a refrain: maybe later, maybe after the next premiere, maybe when the dust settles. But this latest turn feels different. It doesn't close the door, but it reveals where Cemre stands right now, right in the middle of complicated emotion. If you've ever tried to heal in public, you already know. Some mornings you think you're fine. Then a photo blindsides you, or a headline nails the one truth you weren't ready to face. According to the same insiders, Cemre shared words that cut through any speculation about how over it she is. Phrases like, "I hate that this still gets to me," or, "It actually makes me furious to see him like that, with someone else," have been quoted, carefully, respectfully, but with enough clarity that everyone understands. This isn't drama for drama's sake. This is a human response, raw and a little embarrassing to admit. And that, right there, is what makes it resonate. These aren't characters in a script. They're people whose off-camera lives get treated like bonus content. The fans who followed every step, the ones who can name outfits by episode and make playlists for every eyebrow lift, have always felt every tremor as if it were their own. When a rumor has substance, it grows roots. And this one does. Not because someone shouted it, but because the tone in those private rooms was unmistakable. Cemre's guard was down. Does she still have feelings for Gökberk Yildirim? That question is echoing in comments and stories and late-night threads everywhere. Maybe. Maybe it's not the kind of feeling that begs for a second chance. Maybe it's the kind that tugs at your sleeve and says, "We had something. Respect it. Let me breathe while I figure out how." Or maybe the sight of Gökberk with a new presence crystallized what was already there, a piece left unfinished, a note that never resolved. Pride could be in play. So could grief. So could the simple shock of being replaced in a position you once claimed without question. Context matters. These two don't live in a quiet corner where love can evolve without an audience. Every step is magnified, every silence analyzed. A magazine cover here, a cryptic caption there, and suddenly the internet is speaking a language that feels more like a court of opinion than a cozy cafe. If Seamra is in a reflective phase, if her work is pulling her in new directions, if her circle is shifting, if she's using this season to recalibrate, then seeing him step forward beside someone else is not just a headline. It's a mirror. It's the moment you realize that while you were reorganizing the shelves of your heart, someone else found room for a new story. Let's be clear, we are still in the realm of whispers and careful confirmations. Nothing official has been posted, no statements released. And yet, the consistency of the accounts, the way the details align without any one person trying to own them, gives this weight beyond idle chatter. It doesn't read as simple envy. It reads as a personal reckoning, a deep-seated discomfort that will take time to comfort. Fans are split, and you can feel the divide. There are those who say they understand Cemre completely, who say the heart isn't a switch you flip. They defend her vulnerability, point out that growth isn't linear, and argue that honesty, even second-hand honesty, is a kind of courage. Then there are the pragmatists who believe it's time for both of them to keep moving, no glances backward, just clean lines and new beginnings. Both sides have their reasons. The heart keeps its own calendar, and it never looks at the clock the way the public does. And what about Gökberk Yildirim? How is he meeting this storm, or refusing to? From what we've seen, he's doing what he does best when the noise crescendos, staying composed. Working. Laughing with friends. Being spotted out, not hiding, not overcomplicating. Maybe he's oblivious to the depth of Cemre's reaction. Maybe he senses it and chooses not to feed the fire. In either case, he appears intent on living in the present tense. Whether that present includes a real relationship with the woman in those photos remains the open question that keeps people refreshing their feeds. If there's a lesson in this moment, it's one we never seem to learn for good: fame doesn't shield you from the most ordinary, most humbling emotions. Cemre Arda, adored and accomplished, is wrestling with something common and profoundly human: the sting of seeing an ex, an almost, a once-in-a-lifetime, slip an arm around someone else. It's jealousy in a minor key, sadness with a sharp edge, pride trying to hold its posture. It's also an admission, quietly powerful, that what they shared left a mark she still traces sometimes in the dark. Let's bring this together. The facts as they stand: Gökberk Yildirim has been seen in close company with a woman whose identity remains unconfirmed. The images and timing suggest more than coincidence. In the wake of those sightings, trusted whispers indicate that Cemre Arda is deeply affected, more than she wanted, more than she expected. Her private words, carried softly by people who care about her, reveal a discomfort that has little to do with gossip and everything to do with memory. She does not want to watch him love someone else, not yet, maybe not ever. And that is the most human truth of all. It's been a ride tracing the contours of this revelation, hasn't it? We sifted through the latest sparks, considered why Cemre's reaction strikes a chord, and weighed how this reshapes the story fans have been telling themselves about this pair. Life in the crosshairs of attention is never simple, and emotions, as we've seen, find a way to spill into view even when no one intends them to. Sometimes a whisper carries farther than a shout. Before we wrap, ask yourself, if you were Seamra, would you feel any different? If you were Gökberk, would you do anything otherwise? Maybe that's why we care, not because we want drama, but because we recognize ourselves in the parts that don't fit neatly into a press release. The truth is rarely photogenic. It's a little messy, a little brave, and it comes out sideways when the right trigger appears. Thank you for staying with us through this delicate unraveling. We'll keep watching, carefully, respectfully, to see whether this moment becomes a bridge, a boundary, or just a lesson filed under "not yet." Tell us what you think below. Is Cemre's reaction a sign of enduring love, or is it the natural ache of a heart still catching up to reality? Would you want them to try again, or is this the final nudge both need to let the past be the past? Your thoughts always shape where we go next. If this story moved you, piqued your curiosity, or simply kept you listening, give us a like, share this with the friends who never stopped rooting for Cemre, Arda and Gökberk Yildirim, and don't forget to subscribe to Secrets Behind the Stars. We'll be back soon with more revelations, more careful reading between the lines, and more of the human truth behind the headlines. Until next time, take care of your heart. It always has the loudest voice, even when it speaks in a whisper.